A couple of notes. How about the Illini soccer team? The ladies on Thursday knocking off 18th ranked Penn State 4-3. They're now 9-1-1. Katie Halton in her first year as coach. What a job she's done. And by the way, then they've got Ohio State coming up on Sunday, 1 o'clock at Demirjian Park. This is just fantastic. By the way, volleyball opens Big Ten play versus Oregon Friday, then at Purdue on Sunday. They went 5-4 in the non-con. But women's soccer, what a start to the season.
Yeah, just going to show you get the right person in charge, and they can make a quick turnaround now in college athletics with the easy to transfer and easy to go through the portal and help yourselves out. So it's fun. It's actually fun. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that somehow I was living and dying by the soccer program, but it's when they're good, you pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great to see them have that opportunity. It just attracts more fans, builds some of the reputation for the university across the cup, trying to get all the overall placement within the Big Ten. So I'm all for another winning team at University of Illinois.
Absolutely. Basketball teams getting started with practice this week. Brad, you were there at Ubben for the men on Monday, and you some great reporting. Man, your notes on the website, IlliniGuys.com, have just been fantastic. Coach Underwood saying that the first thing you notice that they have a lot of length. They're very, very tall. Did you notice that?
Yeah, we actually noticed that this summer. We were like looking at them going, they're huge. They're really tall, really long. And, I guess when you have 7'1" and 7'2" brothers, twin brothers at the top, makes a difference. But even guys like, Jason Jackson is tall. David Merkovich is tall. Ben Humrickhouse is legit 6'9". I mean, they have so much size up front. And then even their backcourt, if you can play Stojakovic at the 2 and Wagler at the 3, you start putting 6'6", 6'7" guys on the wings, you're big. And so they can play big, they can play a little smaller, just a lot of options for him. And I think he's really excited about this squad.
There's a lot of reasons to be excited. Now, of course, Illini fans are looking to see who's eligible, internationally speaking. But Illinois has done a good job of that in the past. So until something changes, there's no reason to assume that they won't do well. I think this team has an opportunity because it seems like this is a mentality of a team that's going to play together. And I think Underwood's ultimately more comfortable with a team like that as opposed to maybe teams that kind of do a little bit more one-on-one stuff. So we'll see, but it looks like we're going to have a really good year in basketball as well.
Yeah, one thing that, and you guys know last year I kept saying, who's the alpha? Who's the alpha? We've talked before, Kylan Boswell, now the undisputed alpha. I think that makes all the difference for this year, and Coach talked about that as well on Monday. He began with the point guard you're talking about. Mihailo Petrovic is here on campus, still has not been cleared by the NCAA. It may not be cleared by November. We'll ask Brad about that later. But here's Coach Underwood starting out talking about his imported point guard. And then Coach Underwood talking about Andrei Stojakovic. Brad, he's not playing much right now. Have you had a chance to see him? It sounds like, again, watching his video, he's got just an incredible skill set. His dad, of course, a great three-point shooter in the NBA for years. It sounds like he will be ready for the regular season. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, they expect him to be back. And he'll be fine. He's already doing some running and jumping, working with Fletch. They just don't want him in contact drills right now with the bone bruise type thing he has with his knee. So, but he's a special scorer. He has the ability to get to the rim, score. He has the ability to score in the mid range. His downside has been his 3-point shooting, but he's a good 3-point shooter when you see him shoot live. Now, I think the thing is a lot of his threes he took at Cal were not necessarily good threes. It's late shot clock, pull up type things. So I think he can be much more, that's what they talked about. He'll score points, but be more efficient doing it. And this year at Illinois, and I think that's where he can kind of be that special guy in the wing. And now you have so many different guys you can play through, whether it's Ivasic, whether it's Petrovic, or all the Viches. That you can play through all the Viches.
Yeah, I think the key is they're going to be able to play with some flow, and that will give them opportunities to shoot without forcing the shots.
And you're right. You've got such great length as well. Tommy hits threes. Stojakovic. I mean, I just think it's going to be pretty exciting. Brad, what's the big thing you want to see them work on here in these next few weeks, getting ready for the season opener?
Well, I think it's fun to see the changes they made defensively. Coach Crocker, he spoke at the IBCA clinic last weekend, and he talked about how they're going to put more pressure and try. It's not necessarily to force turnovers, although you probably will force more turnovers. It's to make teams uncomfortable, not allow them to just run their stuff without, watching it, without making it difficult. And so I think that he talked about how they want to make that change. And I really think it's going to be hugely effective in changing their thing. And they can use that length and get in passing lanes. They can use that length to make passes difficult to make. Even if a guy's open sometimes, if you have length and you're able to tip that pass, deflections, tips, all those things are how you disrupt the flow of an offense. And so in seeing that, I really am excited about what they have in mind.
Awesome stuff. All right. Illini basketball, we'll be talking a lot more about that. We'll talk about the women as well. We've not forgotten about our new Illini gal, Ciara Parchment. She will be on the show next week as we catch up with the women's team as well. Getting ready for USC at the Illini. Hey, we have not forgotten Ryder Cup weekend, of course, USA versus Europe. Fellas, come through. Just be competitive. That's all we're looking for. Beth Page Black, by the way, great course. And baseball, regular season coming to an end here this weekend. Big story. You were talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates young star, Paul Skeens, and the year he had there for the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the best 23-year under season since Dwight Gooden in 1985. Now, The difference is because he had a under 2 ERA, 197 ERA. But here's the difference. Gooden was 24-4 because the Mets didn't suck. Skeens went 10-10 with the same ERA. It's really insane. It just kind of gives you how crazy bad the Pirates are offensively. I mean, Skeens has a 196 ERA for 2 seasons. I mean, he is like a legit one of the best young pitchers to come into the game in a long, long time.
Yeah, he'll have to patiently wait for his ability to be a free agent and get out of there.
Yeah, but he's dating Livy Dunn, so all's good.
Yeah, so It could be worse.
Yeah, it's okay. He's okay. He's okay. And then the Detroit Tigers, by the way, at one point earlier this season, up 15.5 games. Cleveland catching them earlier this week. We were talking about over on the Sports IQ show that since divisional play began, that breaks the record. 14 games. The Yankees came back in 1978 from 14 games back. Cleveland, 15.5 games. And Detroit, it looked like they were a shoo-in. And right now you wonder, will they even get out of the, will they make it, will they win a series at all?
Yeah. They do have Cy Skubal, so Tariq Skubal, Cy Young guy. So that's their chance. A short series. I guess that's your big benefit, right?
Yeah, it'll be now a whole new team for everybody to talk about being lovable losers, I guess.
Yeah, just crazy. Our older Cub fans are like, "Oh, this hurts." Yeah, late season swoon. I don't want to talk about that bad stuff. But baseball playoffs beginning next week. It's crazy to look at the races that have come right down to the wire. AL East, now the AL Central. The Mariners with a fantastic September as they take the West. You talked about Cal Raleigh and the season that he had, 60 home runs. Phillies ran away with things. Brewers look good. And then in the West, that was back and forth. The Dodgers bullpen is terrible. There's that. Okay, fellas, let's get a little into football now. Time now to make our picks. We all picked the same teams last week, and that turned out not to be good. We all went 1-2. It was terrible.
I listened to Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got 4 games this week, so let's see if we can do better. Let's be better, as our first lady says. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Okay, let's start with Illinois and USC. Who you got?
Man, I would love to pick the Illini, but I gotta go with the Trojans here. I feel like the Illinois secondary being banged up and the Illinois offensive line just being bad has really hurt my confidence here.
I think Illinois is going to shock the world.
I feel good now.
I'm going to go orange and blue. It's tough. I know where Brad's coming from, but it's homecoming. They're at home. They got some guys healthy.
I hope you're right.
They're
I hope you're both right.
I hope so. But you are Brad the Greek. Okay, Alabama, Georgia.
Man, I'm going Georgia here. I don't even think Georgia is as good as they should. I think they're a little bit overrated at 5, but Alabama is not that good.
Yeah.
This is not Nick Saban's Alabama time.
I totally agree. I think Georgia wins this, and the people at Alabama start trying to figure out, do we have enough money to pay $65 million for Mr. Signetti?
Yeah.
Yeah, see what happens. I'm going Georgia in this one too. They're between the hedges. They're in Athens. Georgia's the team right now that they're just not being talked about because LSU's had the great start. All the Big Ten teams, they're in the top 5. Bulldogs are still for real. Okay, the game in the Big Ten. Oh, this is awesome. Oregon at Penn State.
Saturday night, NBC. I'm actually gonna pick Oregon to win in the whiteout. I just think the Ducks and Lanning, I think they're gonna find a way to get it done because Penn State is the perennial also ran.
And I agree with you. I think Lanning is going to outduel Franklin. And then you've got a whole group of people at Penn State who are like, can we walk away from 10-2 every year?
Yeah, James Franklin becomes the new John Cooper, right? Now he wins 10 games, but get him out of here.
Yep.
Greg Solich.
Exactly. I'm gonna go the other way and go Penn State in this one. I think the Nittany Lions at home, 100,000 plus Beaver Stadium, little whiteout action, they get it done. SEC now, LSU and Ole Miss.
I was surprised looking at this that Ole Miss is favored in this game. I know it's only 1.5, but I'm gonna pick LSU. I think LSU wins this game on the road in the Big Ten, even though I would rather see Brian Kelly lose.
I would rather see Brian Kelly lose. I think Lane Kiffin is the most entertaining coach in the SEC, and I think LSU is going to win.
I'm going LSU as well on this one. We'll see how we do. All right. Hey, we got to run. We appreciate Cooper Perkins taking time this week for the Eye on the Illini podcast. Be sure to catch that. Matt Stevens as well. Appreciate all of you coming by. Don't forget, afterwards, be sure to check out Mike. Where can we find the post-game show?
You can find it on STL Sports Central, and you can go onto their YouTube page, and it'll be right there after the game.
All right, there we go. We'll have it there, plus all the coverage on IlliniGuys.com. For Brad and Mike, I'm Larry. Enjoy the game. ILL, baby. We'll see you later.